as part of Nigeria's commitment for a present and future that is economically sustainable, socially inclusive, and environmentally resilient. His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, at the 70th session of the United Nations General Assembly in September 2015, joined other world leaders to adopt the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and the Sustainable Development Goals. To guarantee effective implementation of the SDGs in Nigeria, President Buhari in 2016 established the office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals, OSSAP-SDGs, and subsequently appointed former Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Princess Adejoke Orelope-Adefulire, as his Senior Special Assistant on Sustainable Development Goals. She has been carrying out the assignment with the commitment and vigor it requires and has been coordinating efforts directed at achieving the SDGs in Nigeria.
Sustainable Development Goals, known as SDGs, is a call for action to reduce poverty, to protect our planet, to work for people, to make sure that people prosper, and to ensure that all people live a normal life.
On assumption of office, Princess Adejoke Orelope-Adefulire received briefings from the East Wales Secretary of Program, Ochapa Ogenyi, and other management staff on the state of affairs. She immediately convened a strategic stakeholders workshop for the optimization of the country transition strategy of the SDGs and prioritizing the SDGs, and followed up by ensuring that the required institutional frameworks were properly put in place for the effective implementation of the goals. These include the Presidential Council for the SDGs inaugurated by the President to provide high-level policy guidance and leadership as well as direction on the implementation, while standing committees on the SDGs were also established in the Senate and the House of Representatives to enhance legislative engagement and support for the goals. The office took active steps to mainstream the 2030 Agenda into national, subnational, and sectorial policies, development plans, and budgets as against embarking on standalone projects which lack sustainable characters.
With the adoption of the 2030 Agenda, we set for ourselves an ambitious goal of seeing an economically sustainable, socially inclusive, and environmentally resilient world. For Nigeria, and indeed Africa as a whole, the achievement of the SDGs will mean ending poverty and hunger, safeguarding our ecosystem, and ensuring that our people live in peace and prosperity by the year 2030. It is for this reason that our government acted quickly in the implementation of the SDGs by establishing the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on the SDGs in January 2016. The office is charged with the responsibility for strategic planning, horizontal and vertical intergovernmental coordination, multi-stakeholders partnership, and resource mobilization. It is also mandated to lead robust advocacy and communication for the SDGs in Nigeria.
Working with other stakeholders and partners, the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on SDGs carried out SDGs needs and costing exercise, data mapping, and determination of baseline SDGs indicators to benchmark process through partnership with other stakeholders. The office also ensured the domestication of the Nigeria Integrated Sustainable Development Goals (ISDG) model, design of the Integrated National Financing Framework (INFF), and the development of a coherent 10-year SDGs implementation plan 2020 to 2030 to guide acceleration of the sustainable development in the decade of action.
It was our genuine desire for scientific planning and implementation of the SDGs that made Nigeria to commence the process of domestication and customization of the Integrated Sustainable Development Goals model in 2017. The Nigeria is SDG model will serve as a framework for robust, fact-based policy analysis, planning and implementation at all levels of government. It is expected to be used as a planning tool to complement existing ones currently in use at the national, sectorial, and sub-national levels. Going forward, we expect policymakers and planners to judiciously utilize this model to guide our efforts towards the achievement of the SDGs and other internationally agreed development goals.
Other strategic initiatives include ensuring that the SDGs were embedded in the National Economic Recovery Growth Plan and Nigeria's National Development Plan, as well as the technical and financial support to the 36 states and the FCT on SDGs-based development planning. In conjunction with the National Bureau of Statistics and UNDP, OSSAP-SDGs has successfully realigned the national statistical system with the requirement and indicators of SDGs. The report was launched by the Vice President, Professor Yemi Oshibanjo, SAN, in December 2021.
There's no question that the Nigerian SDGs implementation plan 2020 to 2030 offers a coherent pathway for achieving the expected outcomes in the next decade. One of the areas of marked improvement in this document that we're presenting is the increased range of reporting from the 126 indicators recorded in the 2016 baseline report to the 141 indicators in the current 2020 report. So broadening the spectrum of data that is covered by the report gives a more accurate picture of what is going on and can help shape a more accurate policy responses. The launch today both completes and officially initiates the process of realigning the national statistical system with the requirements of the SDGs. And it is, as we've heard, a product of the data mapping exercise and the design and execution of the SDG data bond. The federal government is committed to guaranteeing the sustained production of relevant statistical information that is needed for effectively tracking and monitoring SDGs in Nigeria. And so we fully support the partners in this important enterprise, namely the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals, the National Bureau of Statistics, and the entire national statistical system. With this launch, we'll be able to track progress on the SDGs more accurately on an annual basis.
Nigeria was among the first few countries that responded positively to the call for voluntary national review (VNR) for the United Nations High-Level Political Forum (HLPF) on sustainable development in 2017 and became one of the first countries to present voluntary national review on the SDGs. Nigeria also defied the COVID-19 challenges to present the second voluntary national review (VNR) in 2020. In 2021, OSSAP-SDGs completed the independent evaluation of 2 priority SDGs, namely SDG 3 and 4, ahead of presentation of another voluntary national review to the HLPF.
Nigeria is now on the global map as the first country in the global south to undertake an independent evaluation on the SDGs. Just 5 years. Just 5 years into its implementation. We've been recording first and first and first.
Nigeria has also strengthened the national awareness around the goals with the adoption of clearly defined communication strategy. Frontline celebrities were unveiled as ambassadors for the SDGs, while over 400 Nigerian Youth Service Corps members are also being enlisted annually as SDGs champions since 2017 to take the campaign on implementation of SDGs to the grassroots in various parts of the country, help communicate the messages of Agenda 2030, generate momentum and citizens' commitment for the achievement of the SDGs in Nigeria.
Since 2017 that we assumed office, more young people are engaged as NYC SDG Corps champion. They were trained in vocational study and the TAP program known as the August Project. We are empowering 800 Corps members with all the skills for the 21st century market to seek employment opportunity of our teenage youth at this camp.
The Princess Adejoke Orelope-Adefulire led OSSAP-SDGs has also set up the Private Sector Advisory Group, the Donors Partnership Forum, and the Civil Society Strategy Group as key partners in the implementation of the SDGs in Nigeria.
We have been working with the private sector since the inception. We launched the Private Sector Advisory Group. We launched the Donor Partnership Forum also. The composition of the donor agencies and the development partners. So we launched the Civil Society Strategy Group, civil society organization coming together to work with us. And we launched also the Presidential Council on SDGs, which is the highest body in the state, in the country, to see to the development, achievement, and attainment of SDGs. I'm sure Nigeria is the first country to do that, and we are applauded by the United Nations that the private sector, the public, the donor partnership, the civil society strategy group, and the Presidential Council were launched within 1 year of the implementation of SDG in Nigeria.
And in furtherance of our commitment to fast-track the achievement of the SDGs in Nigeria, since 2016, the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on SDGs has embarked on a number of strategic interventions across the 36 states and the FCT. Between 2017 and 2020, OSSAP-SDGs has constructed and furnished 3,613 blocks of classrooms. Significantly, OSSAP-SDGs in 2018 launched the Smart Classrooms in collaboration with global digital giant NetDragon WebSoft in Abuja.
The most interesting thing is that the children themselves are very happy. Within 2 days, they can operate and they can do a lot of things that you have seen them doing. We thank God that these children are very intelligent and very, all they need is encouragement for them to get to where they wanted to get to. And it's our role and responsibility as government, as their representative in government, and as parents to ensure that we provide the enabling environment for them, to encourage them, to educate them, not only to educate them for the sake of education, to give them qualitative education that will guarantee their future. And that's exactly what we are doing here. I'm very excited as a mother, and I'm very proud to be a leader that has facilitated this to this school and to our children, our young future generations.
The office has also completed or about to complete the construction and equipping of a total of 34 number 120 beds mother and child centers, 16 number 80 beds ultra-modern hospitals, and 84 number primary healthcare centers across the country, among other numerous projects.
This 120 beds Muhammadu Buhari Mother and Child Center is fully equipped with the state-of-art facilities, which includes, among other, 2 operating theaters, recovery rooms, private and general wards, scanning rooms, consultation room, laboratory, ultrasound machine, vacuum extractor, delivery set, and emergency card with full complement.
Today's commissioning is a glowing testament to the global community that Nigeria is putting and will continue to put children at the heart of the SDGs. I'm happy to inform you that this is the 5th of such being established in the country. Last year, witnessed the commissioning of a mother and child centers in Lagos, Ondo, Kwara, and Yobe states.
This project, which is specifically designed to provide integrated healthcare services for women of childbearing age and children, will contribute to the improvement of the healthcare system in Macaulay in particular and Benue State at large. Hospital is equipped with modern facilities that will enhance the achievement of better maternal and child health for the end users.
Permit me to extend my heartfelt appreciation to the Senior Special Assistant to the President, Princess Adejoke Orelope-Adefulire, a woman of conscience, a mother who saw and appreciated the plight of mothers and children in Benue State and approved this project to be executed. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Mr. President believes that when ordinary people get sick, that is when they most need our assistance, and that is when our obligation to them is at its highest. This is reflected in this administration's determination to improving infrastructure in public health institutions. I urge you all to take advantage of the government's development agenda, which seeks not to just address the development of physical infrastructure, but also programs focusing on the health and well-being of all citizens.
One of the things this present administration under President Muhammadu Buhari has done, and the mandate given to us in the Ministry of Health, is to ensure that we bridge the gap between the primary health and tertiary health. And this structure here is a confirmation of an attempt to bridge that gap.
Let me appreciate His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, for providing the needed leadership and direction and resources to enable us work closely with the sub-national government to deliver key intervention to fast-track the achievement of sustainable development goals we are all committed to as a country.
So OSSAP-SDGs is part of the moves to help reduce maternal and child mortality ratio in Nigeria in conjunction with the Coca-Cola and MedShare International launched the Safe Birth Initiative designed to support 10 selected tertiary level hospitals in the country with state-of-the-art life-saving medical equipment and technical capacity building. The office has also supplied 4,634 specialized hospital beds to different hospitals across the country.
What we have done is demonstration of strong commitment to our national development priorities and 2030 agenda for sustainable development. This emphasizes that every life of every child counts, and federal government of Nigeria cares.
OSSAP-SDGs also partnered with Federal Capital Territory Administration for the completion of Abaji Water Plant, now serving at least 10 communities and a university in Abaji area of Abuja. Through its Sustainable Projects Units, OSSAP-SDGs has constructed and equipped 34 skill acquisition centers and earmarked on organization of skills acquisition of skill training programs across the country.
This is very strategic because it has to do with the economic empowerment of teeming youths, and this is one of many skill acquisition centers we built across the country, our country Nigeria, and to improve the economy, secure the country, and to stamp out corruption in our society. Our youth must be engaged, they must be encouraged to use their hands to work for a living and to shun all forms of crimes. A crime-free society is one that its youth are productively engaged, and thus empirical evidence that shows that investing in youth can lead to poverty eradication, which in turn lead to social security. Ladies and gentlemen, no government can provide all the essentials to its citizens, but in this duty of every government must guide and encourage its people to develop for a sustainable livelihood. And this is exactly what we are doing here as part of our partnership with all these critical stakeholders. I want to urge all the youth that are built to be trained at this center to consider themselves fortunate and use the opportunity wisely so that in no time they can be employers of labor and contribute positively to the socio-economic development of our country. I am convinced that our youth, when empowered with right skill and right environment, can transform their livelihood and contribute meaningfully to the economy of Nigeria. Based on President Muhammadu Buhari's promise to lift 100 million people out of poverty in 10 years, we are committed to prioritizing key interventions with multiplier effects on employment generation and poverty reduction. So therefore, technical and vocational education and entrepreneurship are prerequisites for sustainable human capital development. Through this key center, we hope to promote social equity, inclusion, and sustainable development due to the opportunity for direct and indirect employment generation for our young people. We will continue to prioritize this in our development governance. Finally, let me reaffirm the Nigerian commitment to the achievement of SDG by 2030, which was made by Mr. President. Our office will continue to promote and advocate for technical and vocational training in this decade of action for the sustainable development, so that no Nigeria will be left behind.
OSSAP-SDGs, in collaboration with UN Habitat, trained over 120 Nigerian youth in energy efficiency and renewable energy technologies, while other 125,000 youths were trained on the use of digital technology for economic empowerment across the country in collaboration with Google Nigeria. OSSAP-SDGs is also partnering with UNESCO and Read and Earn initiative on the TAP project with focus on building intellectual capacity and developing economic potentials of Nigerian youth. These and other laudable achievements have continued to attract commendations from stakeholders and beneficiaries at all levels.
Today is our third anniversary, and also we are using that to celebrate the International Children's Day. The theme for 2022 is a future for every child, and basically we wanted to just advocate for better treatment for all our kids, a better future for all our kids, and better education for every Nigerian child. So we came together just to propagate the message in line with the UN's SDG agenda. So we decided to further push the message to the public.
As a unit, we are using this opportunity to advocate for our children and then linking it with the SDG. If we can achieve the 70 SDG goals, that means there will be a prosperity for our children. I'm also advocating against child abuse, child labor, so that as a child, you don't need to work to fend for yourself. You have to. It's a right for every child to have a better living.